Imagine hiking into one of America's most beautiful parks and never coming out. No body, no trace, no goodbye. Just two people swallowed by the wilderness as if they never existed. It was supposed to be a peaceful summer trip, just a father and his young son exploring the wild beauty of Glacier National Park. They arrived with smiles, camping gear, and plans for a weekend adventure, the kind of bonding trip that leaves stories to tell for years to come. Witnesses later said they looked happy at the trailhead, calm and confident. The father was experienced in the outdoors, and the boy, full of excitement, clutching his small backpack like it held all the treasures in the world. They set out early that morning, heading deep into the mountains, where jagged peaks touch the clouds, and silence feels heavier than air. The weather was clear, the path well marked. Nothing seemed unusual. But by the next day, when they didn't return to their campsite, worry began to spread fast. Park rangers found their car still parked by the trailhead, untouched. Inside were extra clothes, some food, and a map neatly folded on the dashboard. But there was no sign of them, no footprints leading away from the area, no campfire, no tent. It was as if the forest had quietly erased their presence overnight. Days passed, then weeks. Search teams combed through miles of rugged terrain, calling their names, using helicopters, dogs, and every tool they had. Nothing, not a single clue that told where they went or what went wrong. And that's when people began to whisper, maybe it wasn't just the wilderness that took them.
When the father and son missed their return date, park officials launched one of the largest search operations Glacier National Park had ever seen. Dozens of rangers, volunteers, and rescue dogs flooded the trails. Helicopters hovered over valleys and lakes, scanning every shadow between the trees. At first, everyone believed they'd find them. Maybe injured, maybe lost, but alive. The father knew the outdoors. He wouldn't wander off the trail without reason. But as the hours turned into days, that hope began to fade. Searchers found faint footprints near a stream, but they vanished halfway down the bank, as if the earth itself swallowed them. Nearby, a torn piece of fabric was discovered caught on a branch, the same color as the father's jacket. It gave rescuers a spark of hope until nothing else followed. Every direction led to dead ends, the dense forests, hidden caves, steep cliffs, all became part of a maze with no way out. Locals said Glacier had a strange energy, a silence that played tricks on your senses. Some rescuers even admitted feeling watched, like something ancient in the woods didn't want them there. After weeks of searching, the Park Service officially called off the operation. Families begged them to continue, but there was simply nothing left to follow. It was as if both father and son had been lifted out of existence, leaving behind only questions.
Even after the official search ended, the story refused to fade. Locals, hikers, even former rangers couldn't stop talking about it, because certain details just didn't make sense. A week after the search was called off, a private volunteer team went back into the area. Deep in the woods, miles from where the father and son were last seen, they found something strange. A single child's shoe resting neatly beside a fallen log. It wasn't torn, it wasn't dirty. It looked as if someone had just set it down. A few 100 feet away, they discovered a plastic water bottle, the same brand the family had brought. But there were no footprints around it, no signs of struggle, no trail leading away, just silence. What puzzled investigators even more was that the terrain around the site was nearly impossible to cross. Sharp ridges, sudden drops, and thick forest walls that even experienced climbers struggled to navigate. How could a father and a young boy reach that deep into such an unforgiving place? Some rangers quietly admitted they felt something off about that section of the park. Compasses spun without reason, radios cut out, and at night strange echoes carried through the trees. They never said it publicly, but among themselves they called it the quiet zone. And here's the part that truly unsettled people. In the months after, other hikers began reporting odd things, voices calling their names when no one was around, distant laughter echoing through the forest, a faint smell of campfire in areas where no one had camped for weeks. It was as if the park itself remembered them and didn't want to let go.
With no bodies, no clear evidence, and no answers, the mystery only deepened. And as it always happens with stories like this, theories began to form, some logical, others unsettling. The most accepted theory is the simplest one, that they got lost. Glacier National Park covers over 1 million acres of rugged, unforgiving wilderness. A single wrong turn, a sudden fog, or an unexpected storm could disorient even an experienced hiker. Maybe they slipped into a ravine or fell into one of the countless crevices hidden beneath thick vegetation, places so remote that no one has ever reached them. But there are problems with that theory. Search teams scoured every possible route. Dogs picked up faint scents, then suddenly lost them, as if the trail just ended. No sign of animals dragging remains, no torn clothing, no gear, nothing. Then came the second theory, that someone or something was out there. There have been reports, even before this disappearance, of people hearing voices in the backcountry, or spotting figures standing motionless among the trees. Some locals believe there are parts of Glacier where you simply don't go, areas where compasses spin and sound carries strangely, almost like it's alive. And then there's the more paranormal explanation. Whispers about portals, missing 411 cases, and energies that distort time and perception. Some say the park holds something ancient, something that doesn't want to be found, and those who wander too deep never return. Skeptics, of course, dismiss all of this. They believe the forest hides everything eventually, that nature itself erases clues, and we humans just can't accept that kind of silence. But to this day, neither the father nor the son has ever been found. No trace, no closure, just an open wound in the heart of the mountains.
Years have passed since the father and son vanished into Glacier National Park. Their names have faded from headlines, but their story still echoes among those winding trails, carried by the wind, whispered by the trees. Every summer, new visitors arrive, laughing, exploring, taking photos of the same mountains that once watched two people simply disappear. And sometimes, hikers claim to feel something, a sudden stillness, a quiet that seems too deep, too aware. Some say they've heard faint voices in the distance calling out, as if someone is still looking for a way home. Maybe it was a tragic accident. Maybe it was something darker, something beyond what we can understand. But what makes this story so haunting is not just that they vanished, it's that they vanished without reason. Glacier National Park remains one of the most breathtaking places on Earth, and also one of the most unforgiving. It reminds us that nature doesn't owe us answers. It only offers silence. And in that silence, two lives remain missing, not forgotten, not gone, just waiting somewhere beyond the trail.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell for more. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. See you in the next one. Bye for now.